Right. You're not going to believe the bloody time. It's like 20 to 11. Jesus. Really screaming nuts. Right, so this morning, I ain't doing it with this now. Obviously I was doing it with this, I was doing it with this, and I was doing it with this. I'm just going to demo this now, and then I'm going to rest, and then I'll probably, and I'm going to be doing that again tomorrow. I'm just going to demo this just so you get the idea. Bar, me, at work. Yeah, can you see? I'm going to have to move this properly on. What I also was doing this morning was with the Olympic bar behind my back, because it's weighted, you know, I was down here, you know, and I was like right down here, stretched out. I was holding it for ages, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, just breathing it down. It was just sinking and sinking and sinking and sinking. I was like out, stretched. But now, obviously, that's tight, so tomorrow, tighter, so I'm going to have to loosen off again tomorrow morning. Position behind my shoulders, as always, when I'm doing that stretch. The overhead work, obviously, I went from wide to narrow, and then as I was rolling back down, just control. Here, my head comes through, and then lift. Come forward, and this comes over, that comes down, that comes up. Make sense? That's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? That's obviously the log stretch. Come across, you're controlling it, pushing out, across, down, touch. And you think when you're using a weighted bar, wood, steel, Olympic, various weights, you're obviously having to work that as well. Position, up and hold, control down. Touch the floor, head up. And that's the hard bit there. That is a lot easier than that, because where the weight is, it makes it a lot harder. So you can try it. Just get a plastic pole, get a broomstick. If you want a steel bar, use a steel. If you want to try it with an Olympic bar, trust me, it's harder than an Olympic bar. It's really hard. Or you know, you've got those weighted poles like that little 1 kg one there, which I've shown you before. Yeah, I've shown you that one before. And then you've also got different width. So that's off, that's engaged. As I come down, I roll, keep my legs straight on the floor, control. And then obviously tension and expansion. So I keep my legs straight because I want to keep myself out. Ideally, they just stay completely flat. If you do lose it, if they come up, then they're just a counterbalance. You catch it. So you've got like this, yeah. So legs together. Straddle. I actually find it easier straddle because it's like I can grip, how do I describe it? Is it gripping the floor? It kind of forces the weight out. This is a harder control, I find. again, you can do all this twist work. Push. Yeah, so there's a lot you can do. Again, not engaged, being lazy, quite dominant, engaged, working. Tighter, out tighter. Control, point my toes, keep the tension down, across. It's a good lift. When you're back here and you're having to lift, it's like down here. Also with your legs straight, I just like it. I think you get the idea. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's good to control down, and then ideally you want to keep it back as much as possible as you come up. And you can do that little crunch work there. And that's like literally the start of the pull. And then you come into that good posture straight away. And that's where you can do your compression raises, still maintaining. Yeah, so I was doing a lot of that this morning. I was in this position, I was coming across, I was coming up and over. So I was literally going 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, back, down, back on, 2, 3. Or I'd go 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, just a lot. And I was just going and going and going. Or I'd do together, which I've done. Yeah, makes sense. So the harder, the heavier the bar is, weighted wise, will obviously, especially when it's back here, will be harder here, and then the control on the back. I also, this morning, I had the Olympic bar was also up here, and I had it also back on my shoulders. I also had it here, knee springs. And yeah, so playing where the weight was placed on my body was again, either I was pressing it or I was sit-ups with it. Yeah, press, 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 simple, twist. Work. So yeah. So I'm just kind of wanted to demo that quickly with this light pole because it's now nearly 11 o'clock. I think that's food for thought. I think you generally get the idea, and you can just mix together the movements. What I didn't cover was what I was dealing with sort of I saw from obviously the shoulder guy was doing all this rear movement, then also rear movement with a pole, where you come up and hold. I've talked about it on other videos, doing all this hold work to work my back, but then doing it behind my back here, up and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, with my head on the floor. And then, so I'm rushing this now. And this you can do, obviously if you've never done it before, just start with your body weight. And those lifts and those holds are really good for your back, really good for your shoulders. And if you're doing handstands, it's very good for building that strength. And then, you know, you've also got, so then you're obviously working the rear of your shoulders and then working all down your spine as well. And then if you bring in your rear, when you're lifting from your hips, then that also brings in your glutes and hamstrings. Breathe, young Jedi. So you've got double arm work, you've got your single arm work. Yeah, and then you also have your pressing work as well. So you've got single movement, so that's pretty self-explanatory. And you're ideally just keeping everything aligned, you know, you're not trying to put pressure on your neck. You're just trying to work the rear of here, and because you're lying flat on the floor, you are, 1, you're supporting yourself, 2, stabilising yourself, 3, you're stopping yourself from ridiculous movement, throwing stuff around, swinging stuff, and it's very strict. And you work in certain strict angles and areas, you know, like behind or up here. Because it's if you've not done it before, it's a hard lift. It is a hard body control, but you can get very strong at it very quickly. But if you try it, you'll be like, wow, that's really quite tricky. You might only be able to go, and then later on, when you get stronger, you're up here. Like, wow, I've really built in a load of strength to the back of my delts, to my, you know, the centre of my traps, working down the scap, working down all. Well, yeah, it's all there. It just works. So there's loads there, and you know you can press as well. You can have a bar, come up, press. And then you can do that side. You can have a bar one side, work it, change the bar to the other side, work it, come around, up, hold, come down your back, work the mobility, etc. And then also a really good one, and I was doing it for a long time, but I was doing it stood up, where you have, Dale got me doing this, where I would put my elbow on the back of a wall and I'd lean back and this would go forwards. But obviously I was watching the shoulder line, he said just lie on the floor and then bring your elbows forwards, like you flare them forwards. I was like, the first time I was like, wow, that is tight. So I'll show you. So good side. Good side's good, bad side's bad. So good side, happy days, that's good. And the stretch is all through here. Not an issue, no issue whatsoever. Yeah, and so your hands down, hands here, and that comes forwards. Yeah, so centre back, that goes forwards, onto the deck, nice and flat, stretch. Bad side, stiff. She don't like it. That's like, if I work her into it, I'm sorry, my nose. If I work at it, it loosens. Obviously I've done a hell of a lot of stuff on it today, so it has gone stiff. Yeah, so there's a lot of mobility that I need to get back, so it's like right down here. But, you know, it does work, it's just, I need to give it time. It's like anything, you need to give it time. Time, massage, bit of TLC, bit of tender love and care, you can create good things. You know, and ideally, you're completely, you can see it's already going now. Just need to let it relax, 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 young Jedi, relax. And then when it all eases, then happy days. And what you can also do is, instead of individually, it's like this. Yeah. So then when they're together, they both flare down. So they're both down, but the issue there is this one I could keep in the centre of my back, but just to show you them both touching, I've brought it out to the edge. Ideally, it's right back here in the centre, like running down the centre of my spine. And that's where you get that good stretch. And it's a good warm up, you know. Again, just ease into it. But the other side, if you've got a dodgy side, like I've got, give her a bit of TLC and ease it in. Don't just ram it in, because it will just cause issues. you won't have a good response. Again, you know, you just do holds, put tension on, X number of seconds, come off, tension back on, ease it, work it, sink it, let it drop in, breathe in, take tension completely off, let it shake it out, release, massage, loosen it off, make sure she's happy. Back in, back on. Go. Makes sense. So there you go. That is a really good stretch for here. It is. The one I was doing before that Dale got me going it's a really good stretch. This is very simple and I really like it. It is just, yeah, it hits it on the head. Every time when I've done it stood up and I'm using the corner of the wall, I just have to keep readjusting sometimes. But this is just bang in, down. Yeah, that's good. And it's also pretty good if you're doing jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. It's good to get that rotation. And if you are doing jiu-jitsu, you need to have good shoulders. Because you'll be in a world of hurt if you don't. You'll be in a world of hurt anyway if you get submitted. But if your shoulders are not conditioned and loose and supple and good mobility, it can really catch you out. Not fun. So that's food for thought, but yeah, go and check out the rehab guys who will cover this in detail. I'm just telling you about my food for thought stuff that I'm doing. I'm not a specialist in this area, I'm not a rehab guy, it's just what I'm doing, just to help me. Which is food for thought for you to go and speak to the specialists, subject matter experts, SMEs to implement their training, their rehab, their into whatever you need to do. This is just me fixing myself, which may give you food for thought, may help you then get helped by a professional rehab coach. So yeah, and that's been going for another 20 minutes. Jeez. Commander call. What's the time? I should say paratrooper call, shouldn't I? That is 11 o'clock. Okay, I think it's time to stop now. I've been going for ages. And I'm hungry. And I've got in at 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I need to stop. It's about like 1 hour to like Christmas morning. Not like it is Christmas. I've got like 300 and too many. That's how many. Till my Christmas next year, hopefully. If I'm not away again, we shall see. We shall see. But yeah, ho ho ho, tactical ho to all of you at home. Have a good Christmas. It will be Christmas. Well, actually, some of you are probably watching this on Christmas morning, so happy Christmas. If not, maybe some of you are watching us on the tail end of Christmas Eve. As soon as these get uploaded to YouTube, if not, you will be watching them on Christmas Day or whenever. So yeah. Right, put this kit away, go back, feed the machine, steak, whatever else, goodies, fluids. Feed the machine. Merry Christmas, one and all. Season's best wishes. May you all have a Merry Christmas Day. Goodwill and good health to one and all. Onwards and upwards into 22. There we go. So, where's my cat? Here she is. So from the original crazy, this is the Dark Knight Jedi look. The Dark Knight Jedi look. Oh dear. Yeah, have a good Christmas. May you all have a fantastic time with your families. Be safe, good health, be merry, live and love it. One and all. Live and love it, one and all, because others may not be where they are. Yep.